Hey everybody, Nerd Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing the Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe class, Rook. Now, Rook is basically the replacement for Groove, since they're trying to keep Groove as a motorcycle in the Legends class, thus, I guess, making him proportionally more acceptable in the vehicle mode. And Rook here is a new character who is a SWAT vehicle of some kind. I would say like a SWAT van, but I don't know, it looks more like something you would see in Saints Row 3 when the stags start coming after you. Or maybe it looks like the Mako. It actually kind of looks a lot like the Mako from Mass Effect. I don't know, it's just this like all-terrain six-wheeled vehicle that does look like it could do some damage. It certainly looks threatening. It has police tempo there and SWAT there, same thing on their side, and it's got the same thing right there. The deco's pretty nice. It fits in pretty well for Defensor. You know, got white and blue, a little and black, a little bit of silver and gray, and just a little bit yellow for the headlights. And it is painted pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, yellow for the headlights, blue for the front bumper, and even some, that's not paint, that's plastic right here, but still. The blue goes all the way down, despite these all being different pieces, which is pretty nice. You do get some silver here where the tools are, where you see you got like an axe, and you got like an extinguisher by the looks of it. Also some little fuel tank things here that are also painted in silver. You get the same thing on the other side, just in reverse. And not much really on top, other than like the gunmetal silver for the windows. But it's got enough color variation to look pretty nice. It's also got like a little black stripe of plastic going down this way. So yeah, it's a pretty cool looking truck. You might notice a giant pig sticking up the top here. We'll get to that after we get to the comparisons, where we have his remold into one of the Combaticons. Swindle, there we go. I don't know why his name was slipping my mind, considering Combaticons are my favorite. But you can see humongous remold, but I'll get into more detail when I get to his review later on. And here he is next to Blades, just to get you a good idea of size. So yeah, he does share an interesting gimmick with Blades, particularly because you might notice that unlike all the other little hand-foot weapons, there's a peg hole in Rook's. It's so that way you can peg it down and do that, which is why a lot of people thought he would be remade into Brawl instead of Swindle, since, you know, you could use this as a tank turret. But it does allow for some pretty cool stuff. Plus, he also has a peg hole in the front that allows for his other weapon, this little extendo claw. You can actually see the detail on it. It does have like these little wires and springs in it to make it look like it could extend outward. And you can put it down to the front, and you could either have, you know, either a vehicle for destroying, or you can say it's a vehicle for exploring. You can say, or even maybe bomb diffusion, I don't know. And maybe even these are just to clear out rubble, not to destroy things. So that's pretty cool. You also get a peg hole up here if you want it further up, like this. I do wish this actually could extend, like as a little gimmick, because this would be really cool to use. Personally, I like to display it like this with this back here, so that way you can kind of rotate it around and aim it upward. However, since he does have this big old peg hole up here, and Blades is molded to have a peg hole on the bottom, you can actually combine the two by lining it up and just pegging Blades to the top there. This doesn't particularly do anything, doesn't do anything fancy, but you could have it displaying like Blades carrying Rook around, or you could have it to where it's like a giant tank. You could open the front part of Blades up here to open for the peg hole to put in a weapon. Speaking of weapons, since there is a peg hole on this, you could stack it up, like so. And you could even attach Rook's weapon to Blades here. Like I said, you could really just start building up a giant tank of destruction. So let's get Rook's weapons back off of Blades there, but it is a really cool gimmick. It does carry over to Vortex and Swindle, actually. But let's get to Rook himself here. Like I said, pretty good SWAT vehicle. Let's get to his leg mode. Now this leg mode is going to take a bit of transformation more than most of the others. You have to start by grabbing this black piece up here, which is his head, just moving it up out of the way to about there, to where the head's just barely sticking out there. Reason for that is this whole panel right here on the top, the entire like quarter of the vehicle here has to come up. And there are two tabs here, and there's two tabs on the right here, two tabs. And I'll click in like that, then take the front bumper, bring it down on these two hinges, like so. Then just flip out the connector piece. Oh yeah, you took the head back in now, like about that far. Doesn't go completely back in, but you know. Then just pick the foot in, and there you have the foot mode. And it's pretty nice. It does have this whole like bump thing not really care much for with some of the combiner pieces, but it's not 3-tiered like off-road was, so it doesn't really bug me as much. Plus it gives Defensor a pretty big good shin that you could really knee somebody in the balls with. Or in the, I don't know, what do Transformers have there? Crotch plate, there we go. We just knee him in the crotch plate really hard. I also kind of like these down here because you can also peg his weapon and actually store it on him like this, though. You just peg it right there like that. You can also peg it up here if you wish. Store his weapon like that. Give him an extendo claw on his knee. But yeah, it's a pretty decent foot mode. It's fairly solid. His arm mode, you're basically going to leave all this up here the same. Move the connector. The only difference is you're going to take the legs. Go ahead, you might have trouble getting them out from under these arm panels here, but basically just go ahead and extend out the legs on these double hinges like you've seen with every Combiner Wars figure. Oh, they go sideways instead of front and backwards, so that is a bit different. Go ahead and tab them into the sides, bring them together, peg them back together, swivel, and there you have his arm mode. Then you just transform the hand as per usual. And there you have his arm mode, which is pretty nice. Give him his extendo claw, or maybe put it down here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there you have his arm mode. It's a pretty nice little arm, you know. I don't like the hole right here, but it is fairly solid looking otherwise. It does give him a nice big bulky shoulder. So yeah, I think Rook holds up well as an arm. Finally, we'll get to his robot mode. You're gonna just swivel this to the front, split the legs, get the connector piece out of the way, bring this panel back down, go ahead and flip down the head, and we'll go ahead and turn it around. Untab the arms, so they do tab in right here, right at the shoulder there. Go ahead and untab those. They also tab in right here actually, so there's 2 tab spots in each arm. So you're gonna bring them out on the struts. That'll actually pretty much lock in the wheel here. And then swivel the elbow forward. And then this backpack will come up, it's on a double hinge, and it'll just kind of collapse up against his back like so. And there you have Rook in his mighty robot mode. Alright, to get comparisons out of the way, here's Rook next to Swindle, and you can see a lot more of the similarities here in robot mode. And just for good measure, let's get Blades in here, just to give you a good idea of how much bulk he's got compared to Blades. Jesus, he will crush Blades in a fight. So as far as the details go, I do like Rook's head. It's kind of like a football player, but also kind of crossed with like a Rook from chess, with the 4 plates he has going around his head there. So that's a pretty neat design. I do like that you can actually see his face sculpted in there. Just got like I mentioned, it's like a football player helmet. He has an Alba symbol right at the top of his head too. That's pretty neat actually. I don't know why, but I don't think we've ever seen something like that. Or if we have, it's been a long time. I think the only thing I can think of is like Rhinox, who has maximal symbols on the top of his head. And there's dust up here. I should wipe that down before I start this review. Oh well. You can see he basically carries over the same color scheme of white, blue, and black being his main colors, with a little bit of gray mixed in, mainly connector piece, and a little bit of silver on the shoulders. There are some new details, some new paint details. You do get the shins that are nicely painted in black, and some details on the legs. All of this was on the bottom of the vehicle mode, so you can see a better idea now. And the chest has a little bit of blue paint mixed into there. And like the head is really nicely painted with the blue eyes and the silver face skin battle mask, I guess I should call it. So yeah, really nicely painted actually. And you still got... The only complaint I have is I wish they had just put a hinge here just to let this panel collapse. Because this is a pretty big panel, like... Swindle has the same issue, but it's like a very small little dagger, you know. Well, here we got a pretty big panel, and it will stick you in your hands. It's not sharp or anything, but it feels awkward to hold, just have this panel, it looks awkward just having this panel sticking down. You also see his hands are actually molded to have these kind of thrusters kind of thing, or just blasters molded in. This would actually probably make a pretty decent Mega Man custom. I should write that down. Or maybe a Gutsman custom. Anyway, you see his hands are actually molded right there with these big blaster units at the end. You might notice, unlike most Transformers, he doesn't have a peg hole in his hands. That's because they're in the front. And that's where his accessories come in, as they can peg in, and you can now give him an extendo claw. Or whatever you want to call this, but I call it the extendo claw because that's what it looks like, especially if you turn it this way and he doesn't have a hand anymore. You can give him a claw. And what's really cool is if you're not sure, you could actually turn this to its combined mode hand, And you can actually give him combiner hands. So if you actually got a second one, you could actually give him full-on combiner hands in both hands, which is a really cool gimmick. I really like that they included this. It does look a little weird sometimes, especially if you look at from like directions like this where you still see the regular hands. But since from like two of the directions you really can't see them, which is why I mainly display them usually like this, so that way you can't really see the normal hands. You can really get like a giant hand, or all kinds of our weapons can really go in. You could put the axe there, you could put guns there, you could do a lot of things with this. Probably be great for customizing too, since you could just peg them on. But yeah, you can technically count this as articulation. And it's just a really cool gimmick. Speaking of articulation, his head is on a ball joint. So you can look all around, look up, look down, you know. And his neck kind of comes with him, even though this is like his neck down here, it kind of comes with him when he looks up, so it looks a little odd. He does have these struts, you could have the arms kind of go back like that, and use that hinge if you need to. But they are also fully ball jointed, so 90 degrees outward, full rotation, all that good stuff. Rotation above the elbow. Elbow goes just a hair over 90 degrees. If you do want to count it, I guess, you could count the hand articulation here, because you can swivel. Got a hinge there, got fingers, got thumb going on 2 different hinges. Might as well go over it because it does kind of count, and you can swivel this as well. You can swivel at the waist, which is really nice. Get fully ball jointed hips, so you can do the full splits either way. Get a 90 degree knee, and you actually get foot articulation, as his feet are actually hinged to go out this far. Can only go up to this far, but you can get him a more natural stance with the legs being apart, so that's pretty nice. It's really helpful when posing him. And of course, he still has the peg on the back if you wish to store a weapon back there. Could fold it up, peg it like that, and you could give him like an over-the-shoulder missile launcher, which is pretty cool. Could do the same thing with extendo arm, I guess, but looks better to have the shoulder thing. Go ahead and put it here, actually. There you go. And now you can use all kinds of stuff. So yeah, Rook's a really fantastic little figure. I think both of his limb modes are really good. I really like the vehicle mode. It's very solid looking, very powerful. And in his robot mode is just fantastic. The paint's pretty nice. The head mold is really nice. The articulation is fantastic. It's probably the best articulation out of any of the deluxes, especially with the foot molding. And the gimmick that works with him really pushes him over the top. But he has everything you would want in a Transformer for both kids and collectors. The only thing that really doesn't go for him is that he's not one of the G1 protectobots. That's literally the only thing that would probably hold somebody back from wanting him, is that he's not one of the G1 protectobots. But if they were to kick it, if Groove had to be replaced by anybody, I'm glad it was a really, really good figure like this. It wasn't just a repaint of another figure, and granted, he was later turned into Swindle, but technically speaking, the first chance we got with this mold is this one, and unlike like Vortex and Alpha Bravo and Blades, where they're all the same, pretty much the only thing that's the same between this and Swindle is the transformation, because there's heavy remolding all over the place to the point that their vehicles almost don't look the same. Like, if you put the two of them next to each other, a casual fan would probably be hard-pressed to realize they're the same figure. So, it is an absolute beautiful figure and beautiful toy. I would recommend this guy to anybody who likes Transformers. Like, even if you don't like Combiner Wars, if there's only one figure you're going to get from Deluxe you're going to get from Combiner Wars, I would say, hey, it has to be this guy. He's absolutely one of the best figures out there. Just everything that he does, all the articulation, all the paint, all the remolding, the gimmicks, just everything that he can do. He does everything that both Hasbro and fans want in one figure. I just wish the rest of the line was like this guy. Is the only downside. But that's not his issue, that's the other figure's issues. As far as he's concerned, he's one of the best figures out there. So I highly recommend him if you don't have him, even if you're not collecting for Defense Or, even if you don't want him as part of your Defense Or, just to have him as a separate buck, because he's so good on his own. So, this has been Nerd Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.